Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of Vocab Hub. Thanks for checking it out. It's where I'll be sharing a weekly episode of walking bass vocabulary. It'll mainly be walking bass, might throw in a few solo lines here and there, but it'll be focusing predominantly on 2 or 3 bar phrases of walking bass. And there'll be different types of chord progressions, so the one we're going to look at today is a minor 2-5-1, but in future ones, you'll have a couple of bars of a dominant chord, a couple of bars of a major chord, major 2-5-1s, all different sorts of things that you'll come across when you're playing jazz progressions or other chord progressions where you might want a bit of vocab to spice up your lines. So today we're going to look at a minor 2-5-1. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of depth with theory, just going to focus on the vocab. If you don't know the theory, that's fine, you can still learn the walking bass line, but I would recommend learning the theory because then you'll know where you can apply these lines and the kind of context that they fit into. So we're going to start with minor 2-5-1, partly because that's my favourite, and we're going to play this progression in G, so it's in G minor. The 2 chord of G minor is A minor 7 flat 5. So in a 2-5-1, in a minor key, it always starts with a minor 7 flat 5 chord. So you've got the A minor 7 flat 5, then you've got the D dominant 7 is the 5 chord, so you play that on the second bar, and then the third bar you resolve to the G minor chord, which is the key that we're in. So the line sounds like this. Again. So I'll start you off with the root of the 2 chord, which is A. You then got a semitone above it, which is a chromatic note. And you've got the third of the A. You've then got a chromatic step up to the D, so that's C sharp. So you've got A sharp, C sharp, D. So this is the start of the second bar. And I like to play 8th notes on that D. Add a ghost note in if you want. You've got you then walk back down again, so you've got, then you go back to the C, A sharp, A, so that's your first 2 bars, and then you go down to the G to resolve, and then from the G you can play whatever you want, continue your walking bass line. You might go walk up the arpeggio or something, or whatever. As with all of these lines that I'm going to give you, it's a really good idea to transpose them to different keys so that you can play them in any context. It's quite an easy one to transpose. I mean, they all are on bass. You literally just shift the pattern to wherever you want to play it. So say we wanted to do it in the key of C minor. The 2 chord of C minor is D. D minor 7 flat 5, so you start on the D. And you just play the exact same pattern. With that one, if you're starting from a note on the A string, you can resolve to the 1 chord on the string below. So instead of, once you finish, shifting down to the C, you can use your little finger to play the C on the E string. So to put it in context, I'll just play it over a backing track, and this will be shifting through a few keys. So start off in C. So if you wanted to do a similar thing, I'm just using iReal Pro, which is a really good app. You can get it on iPad, Android, various other things. But it'll give you the chord progression, and it's really good to play over because then you can hear how what you're playing fits in with the harmonic structure of a song. So I'd advise playing in all 12 keys. I usually go through the circle of fourths or fifths using this. You can find that online. But if you go anti-clockwise or clockwise, either way, round it and play in each key, you'll have played it in all 12 keys, which I think is really important. If you've enjoyed this lesson and you want to see the next one, then hit subscribe. Hopefully see you next week.